Hello everybody, this is Nitpicking Nerd, and today I want to talk about a few things having to do with continuity, and I know it's a topic that not everybody cares about, and to me it's just fun to talk about it. So I know it's all just TV shows, but still I love to discuss all these little details and to analyze them, to find mistakes and try to find a way to explain away the mistakes. First of all, about the uniforms, I did like it when they explained that on the Enterprise they have the newer design of the uniforms. That's a neat way to explain why the uniforms were different in the Cage and later in TOS. We can just say that Starfleet keeps changing the uniforms and not all the ships get updated immediately. You know, just like in the old shows when they transitioned between the uniforms from TNG to Deep Space Nine and Voyager and later the movie uniforms. Sometimes you could see that they don't update all the uniforms simultaneously everywhere, and in the movie generations you could kind of see that transition. You could see both the old and the new uniforms. So I guess that was the transition period in which everybody were slowly changing to the new uniforms. And in TNG they continue to wearing their uniforms up until the end of season 7, even though Deep Space Nine was already on the air since season 6. So that means for over a year everybody kept wearing the old uniforms on the Enterprise. And later for the movies they made the new grey uniforms, but on Deep Space Nine they continued to wear the old ones for a while. And on Voyager they continued wearing the same uniforms from beginning to end, but that can be easily explained by the fact that they lost contact with Starfleet, even though in later seasons they did make contact with Starfleet and they did see the new uniforms, but they still didn't update them. They still kept all the old uniforms. So what I'm getting at is that Starfleet is not that harsh. It doesn't force everybody to change all the uniforms right away. And as we saw before, the transition can sometimes take a year or two, and so we can say the same thing is happening on Discovery, but I do hope that later on they will change the uniforms, otherwise it will be a problem. Actually, one thing that bugged me is that they specifically showed in the previous season that everybody have a clothing synthesizer in the rooms, and so there is no problem for everybody to just create new uniforms for themselves right away. I would suggest maybe it's not that easy, maybe you need to have special measurements taken. Maybe there's a special place on the ship, like a tailor place, which have to take your measurements before you can synthesize a new uniform. And so it will take a while for the whole crew to do that. And so I guess Starfleet is not really pushing everybody to change it so quickly. And because Discovery has been so busy, then no one really pushes them to change it. But I do hope later in the series they will show them start wearing the more colorful uniforms, not just because of continuity reasons, but also because they just look better. I much prefer the colorful uniforms compared to these gray-blue uniforms that are all the same, and it's very boring in my opinion. Monotone kind of uniforms on Discovery, so I do hope they will all change into the colorful uniforms. And also otherwise it will look kind of silly. So wait, Starfleet issued a new design for the uniforms and you're just disregarding that, you continue to wear the old ones. Another way they could explain it away is by saying that maybe different ships have different uniforms, maybe there are kind of different divisions of Starfleet. Maybe some starships are designed for exploration and others are designed for defense. And maybe different uniforms would express those different duties. I guess it's possible, even though it was never mentioned. It was never that way before. But it could be a way to explain it temporarily, and so I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know, just like in the original show, different starships actually had different badges. They didn't all have the same symbol on the badge. Discovery kind of forgot that. That's another continuity problem, that everybody have the same exact Starfleet badges. But if you watch the original show, you will see anytime they visit any other ship or base, the badges are actually unique to that place. And so that's something they actually missed. So I would like to kind of see stuff like that develop until hopefully it will become more and more similar to the original show. So that's why I did like that scene of them explaining the different uniforms. So that's it for now, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.